My compassionate and imaginative Pisces friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Pisces, you know when the air in the room grows thick with something unsaid. This week, it's as if you can sense a current moving beneath the surface. Old hurts, silent disappointments, or maybe the quiet fatigue that follows an emotional storm. There is a heaviness that you've learned to carry with grace, but it lingers all the same. You might find yourself pausing more than usual, caught between wanting to let it all out and fearing what might spill over if you do. Even when you try to distract yourself, that underlying ache is there, a feeling that something significant has ended or is about to. You may not speak of it, but you feel it in your body, a tiredness, a craving for release, a longing for gentleness. You sit with the uneasy sense that the chapter behind you is finally closing, yet the next page remains blank. For now, you are suspended in that quiet in-between, where everything feels both tender and raw. There is a strange clarity that comes with exhaustion, and this week it shows up in the shape of the 10 of Swords. You may recognize the moment when you simply can't pretend anymore. The effort to hold things together, your worry for others, the stories you've told yourself about how much you can bear, the sense that you must always be the one to absorb the pain, becomes too much. It's not defeat, but an honest reckoning with limits. You might feel as though you've reached the end of something you once thought you could fix or keep alive. In the quiet hours, you notice the aches that come from carrying old disappointments and the sharpness of letting go. There is relief in admitting what hurts, in no longer defending against your own truth. Your body may feel heavy, your mind slow, but your spirit is not broken. Instead, you are emptied of the compulsion to keep struggling. This can feel raw, vulnerable, a little frightening even, but there's also peace in the release. In this state, you are stripped of pretense. The tension between wanting to move forward and needing to rest settles into a kind of acceptance. You see, perhaps for the first time in a while, that you are allowed to stop fighting. You are allowed to feel exhausted, to be honest about what has ended, to grieve without rushing to fix or mend. This is not the end of you. It's the end of carrying what no longer serves you. Sometimes the moment when you finally let go is the moment you begin to breathe again. The world doesn't demand more of you right now. It asks only for your presence in this honest, surrendered place. This rawness is not a void, but a starting point. When you finally allow yourself to acknowledge what is done, a subtle shift happens. The exhaustion you feel opens space for new questions. Without the old struggle defining your every step, you start to sense other possibilities crowding in at the edges of awareness. It is the honesty of your current state that prepares the way for what comes next, a path that reveals itself only when you dare to look up and notice what's actually here, not what you wish were true. With the 7 of Cups, the week presents you with a tangle of options, distractions, and emotional cross-currents. The pressure doesn't let up just because you're tired. In fact, it might intensify. You may feel bombarded by choices, some real, others imagined. The mind wants to wander, to escape into daydreams or anxieties, to flirt with all the ways things could have been different. There is momentum here, but it's scattered. The world seems to pull you in a dozen directions at once. Invitations, possibilities, the urge to numb out or chase after something new. This can feel both alluring and overwhelming. You might notice yourself hesitating, unsure which impulse is genuine and which is a fleeting distraction. The friction comes from wanting clarity but finding only mist, wanting certainty but seeing only shifting shapes. Every option seems to shimmer with promise and risk, yet none resolves the ache left by what you've released. The pressure is not just external, it's the internal restlessness that comes after something breaks open. You want to choose, but you're not sure you trust your own desires yet. The world mirrors your own uncertainty, offering up a carousel of what-ifs and maybes. There's a danger of slipping into old patterns, of reaching for comfort that soothes but doesn't satisfy, or chasing possibilities that pull you further from yourself. But there's also an invitation to let the confusion be, to notice which choices stir your heart and which simply distract from pain. The momentum of this week is not about forward movement so much as letting yourself feel the friction of wanting more while not yet knowing what that more should be. You are learning to recognize the difference between longing and true direction, between the noise of options and the quiet pull of what you actually need. The invitation here is real, but it asks for patience. Your potential is not a given. It waits for you to engage consciously, to choose not just from habit or fear, but from a place of genuine readiness. The chaos of options and the pressure to move forward are not obstacles. They are the ground from which something more honest can emerge, if you let yourself stay present in the uncertainty rather than rushing to resolve it. When you do meet the moment with awareness, the energy of the chariot becomes possible. This week, growth arrives not as a sudden victory, but as a gradual gathering of your own will. The chariot speaks to the subtle strength that emerges when you decide, even quietly, to steer your own course. After the exhaustion and the swirl of options, there is a different kind of momentum, one that is focused, determined, and deeply personal. It doesn't matter if you know exactly where you're headed. What matters is the decision to move with intention, to let your actions align with the truth you've uncovered. Growth here is not about conquest or achievement. It's about claiming agency where you once felt powerless, about trusting that even small, steady steps have meaning when they come from your own clarity. The invitation is to gather yourself, to feel the reins in your own hands, and to remember that forward movement is possible, on your own terms, at your own pace. You may not feel ready at first, and that's part of the process. The chariot's energy is not about bravado, but about subtle commitment, the gentle courage to keep going even when the path is uncertain. In this way you transform exhaustion into resolve, confusion into direction, vulnerability into strength. The sense of movement is yours to claim, not because you must, but because you can. You are invited to trust the quiet power that comes from choosing your own way, no matter how small those steps look from the outside. All three cards, 10 of Swords, 7 of Cups, the Chariot, form a single arc. First, there is the honest admission of what's over, the willingness to let yourself be tired and real. Then, the swirl of possibilities and doubts that fills the space where old struggles once lived. Finally, the slow gathering of will, the gentle but firm decision to move forward, even when the destination is not yet clear. This week is not about dramatic transformation or sudden clarity. It's about learning to trust your own process, letting yourself feel the full weight of endings, allowing confusion to be part of the path, and then noticing the quiet moment when you are ready to take the next step. You are not defined by what has ended, nor by the uncertainty that follows. You are defined by your willingness to stay with yourself through the discomfort, to honor both your exhaustion and your longing for change. In the end, reassurance comes not from answers, but from knowing you can hold space for all of it, the pain, the possibility, and the small, steady movement toward something new. You are more resilient than you think, and the energy you need will return as you give yourself permission to move at your own pace. Actionable insights for Pisces this week. Let yourself pause when you feel overwhelmed, even if only for a breath. Notice which choices feel gentle in your body, not just exciting in your mind. Try moving one small thing instead of trying to fix everything at once. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am allowed to feel tired without shame. I let go of what has weighed me down. My choices matter. Even when they are small, I trust the direction I am ready to take. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.